Hi, Doug West here from Mesa Boogie in Petaluma, California. I direct the Tone Lab, and today we're going to talk with our friends from Guitar Center about the new Mark VII. We're going to look into the concepts behind it, maybe hear some of the sounds, and just generally go through it. Coming from the Mark V, we had a number of criteria we wanted to meet. First, we wanted to make the amp more pure, better for performance, and more portable. So when you're talking about more pure, we really wanted to make the circuit path as simple and direct as possible. That ends up with just a tighter attack, purer tone overall, and just a little bit faster, more dynamic response. In terms of performance, it's all about configurability. So in the Mark VII, you have two channels, channel 1 and channel 2, that have the ability to clone modes. So in channel 1, you've got clean, fat, and crunch. In channel 2, you've got fat, crunch, and Mark VII. Basically, you can configure those two channels for anything you want. Two cleans, a clean and a crunch and a high gain, a myriad of ways to get what you want. So when it comes to portability, it's all about the 17-inch chassis. That's the original Mesa Boogie size chassis, and here it results in a 19-inch 112 combo, a 19-inch head that can be fit on many different cabinets, and a 19-inch 4-space rack mount package that is really great for when you want to go touring. So all in all, we love the size. So in channel 2, there's the new mode Mark VII. And on the way to describing that, I'd like to fill you in just a little bit on some myth. There was a Mark VI. We used it for almost 2 years. It was a prototype. The Mark VII mode grew out of the Mark VI, so you could really think of it like kind of a cross between a Mark sound and one of our dual rectifier amplifiers. So it's just a really usable dynamic mode that has a little more top-end harmonics. So to hear the Mark VII, I think we'll use the guitar that we've used in here for a couple decades to work on high gain sounds. It's an Anderson Strat with a really hot H3 pickup. We'll also hear it with a Les Paul in a minute. For a sense of contrast, let's hear this Adam Jones signature model just to get the difference in flavor. So for the Mark IIc and Mark IV modes, let's jump back to the Anderson. So one of the goals for the Mark VII was to go back to the Mark IIc Plus and the Mark IV, but especially the IIc, and look at the speed and the accuracy and the shortness of the signal path. Shorter isn't always better. We did learn in this case that the output and solo on the Mark V were detracting a little bit from the blistering attack and the quick dynamics on the IIc Plus. So one of the things I've always loved about IIcs is the way the high strings just soar. I know John Petrucci loves that too. It's one of the things we often talk about. So we'll listen to that, and then we'll jump to the IV and kick in the graphic EQ, because a lot of people use the IV for big, heavy sounds. So the difference between the Mark IIc Plus and the Mark IV modes is that the IV mode has more low end, a little more robust low mids, and just a fuller sound in general. That tends to get used more for heavy sounds. So for this demo, I'm going to kick on the graphic EQ, and you'll hear how thick it is. Let's jump to the IV and hear what that does. So let's go back in time and listen to the 2B mode. Our whole goal there was to come up with a high gain sound that could also double as a low gain sound. And the biggest difference between the 2B and the 2C Plus and the 4 modes is that the 2B does not have the original treble shift engaged. So it lets a lot more of the guitar's natural sound come through the mix. So for this demo, let's grab a guitar that really shines for lower gain sounds. with the 3 channels, the 7 modes, the cab clone IR, the reverbs. There's so much you can do with this amplifier. So if you want to learn more about the Mark VII, go to your local GC, call one of their expert gear advisors, or go to guitarcenter.com. You'll love it.